Hi, everyone. It's Andrew with the Market Mindset. Today, we're doing a reaction video. We're catching up with the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX scandal. So 15 days of testimony, 3.5 hours of deliberation to find him guilty of 7 counts of fraud, using $8 billion for himself. His co-defendants already took deals. He's facing just over 100 years in jail. And we're going to see what some of the news has to say about him and some of our own personal thoughts. Let's take a look at the video.
FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried found guilty on all 7 criminal counts in the FTX fraud trial. He's facing more than 100 years in prison. The verdict coming in right before 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And Kate Rooney was there in the room where it happened.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there, Andrew. So the U.S. attorney called this one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. The verdict coming almost exactly a year after his crypto company filed for bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted across the board on 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy on lenders, investors, and customers. It was an emotional scene inside that courtroom last night. Bankman-Fried's father burying his head in his hands. His mother was crying as that verdict was read.
So yes, one of the top frauds in history. People will immediately start to think of Bernie Madoff, which was a whole other category unto itself. That was more of a personality type of fraud. And, we'll talk more about it on the channel. But a lot of people do know the Bernie Madoff story, and that was a huge amount of money taken, but over a long period of time. The other one that comes to mind is Enron and the Enron scandal, with similarities of the intricacies of the fraud, was similar in the size and scope, but exceptionally different in the complexity, let's say. But let's leave that for now, because we're going to get into those details in specific. But really, what we can hope for from this is that Sam gets to go to Otisville, which is a prison that's known as Club Fed. It has tennis courts, a bocce ball, cardio room. Michael Cohen went there. But also, you'll remember there's a documentary about the Fire Festival. Billy McFarland went to that jail. So this is a specific jail that is kind of a country club. One could hope that he gets to go to one of these top 10 plush prisons. That would be the biggest upside. And we'll speak about the parents in a moment, but still, at the end of the day, it's heartbreaking to think that your child or your son who's 31 is going to spend the rest of their life behind bars. And we'll see if that actually holds. But let's move on.
Defendant Bankman-Fried staring straight ahead, looking pretty stoic during all of this. The jury came back with a lightning-fast verdict. They started deliberating around 3 p.m., broke for dinner at 6 p.m. The verdict came in around 7:45 last night. In a news conference, guys, Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, delivering some brief remarks. Here's what he said.
Cryptocurrency industry might be new. The players like Sam Bankman-Fried might be new. But this kind of fraud, this kind of corruption is as old as time, and we have no patience for it.
Okay, so that was great and critical because the prosecution did a great job, because they took out the complexity of crypto and what that all means and all of the terminology and how unique this product is, and basically broke it down to something very simple and said, listen, you can put in whatever product you want. This fraud is as old as time. And to kind of really put that into context, we spoke about Enron, that kind of scam, and that was a giant energy commodity trading company that was well known for its use of what's known as mark-to-market accounting. They really took advantage of that to show profits on projects immediately, rather than being fulfilled later down the road as the cash not even being secured. They were able to use special purpose vehicles or entities to hide tons of debt from shareholders and to create the illusion of robust health and whatnot. And these off-book companies were legal in principle, but they were used specifically in ways of deception. And just a final note that's interesting about Enron is the level of complexity of these was incredible. And it took a lot of work and time to decode. They had some fun kind of names as well. They had an homage to Star Wars, like with the Jedi LP, the Chewco for Chewbacca, Kenobi Inc., Obi-Wan Holdings, and Death Star, to name a few. What's interesting is that the CEO that took over from Sam Bankman-Fried was, John Ray, was the person that helped restructure Enron. And his immediate response was that there's nothing complex about this. This isn't Enron. They felt they needed him because of the complexity of what was going to happen. And he just said, no, this is just fraud. I mean, there's nothing here. There was no safeguards. There's no risk management team. That we knew very early on this was going one direction, no matter how much they tried to stall it, to present the case in a different way, or that it was complex because it was cryptocurrency. But it's interesting that this is a link to Enron, and that the amount of work that had to be done for Enron compared to this one, where it was in plain sight. I mean, it was a lot of stealing in plain sight.
Attorney General Merrick Garland saying that Sam Bankman-Fried thought he was above the law. Today's verdict proves he was wrong. This case should send a clear message to anyone who tries to hide their crimes behind a shiny new thing they claim no one else is smart enough to understand. In their month-long case, the prosecution called FTX a pyramid of deceit. They presented evidence showing Bankman-Fried knowingly stole customer money. The defense team saying Mr. Bankman-Fried maintains his innocence and will continue to vigorously fight the charges against him. No
let's
official
just
word.
pause there, because of course that's the what else are you going to say? But this was a pretty straightforward. The other defendants already took plea deals and admitted their wrongful guilt in what they were up to. And it shows that in the midst of this crypto world, where they're trying to define laws and define what this is it security, is it this, is it that, it wasn't even that complexity of the amount of frauds that we've seen in that crypto space. Now, of course, it's hard to imagine the parents that were in the courtroom watching as their son is found guilty. They've got their own lawsuits, civil lawsuits to worry about moving forward. This certainly, I mean, I don't know if it'll have that much effect or not. I mean, it was pretty clear, the fraud and basically it was stealing. I mean, there's lots of nice, softer words for different crimes to make them sound a little bit less than what they are. But he's basically stole, incredible amounts of money, and they'll have their day in court. And I suspect, with the level of knowledge of markets, of law, in this civil suit, they're going to have a challenging time. But more than that, they're having to see their son possibly go for life into jail, and that's always tough, despite as nefarious and cynical as a crime it was to just blatantly steal that kind of level of money. Anyways, thanks for checking in. Give us your thoughts. Tell us what you think of the whole situation, and leave us a comment. We'll talk to you soon.